Sup flappers, we're going to be talking about something today that some of you guys probably don't really want to hear, but if you're here watching this video, I'm just going to continue along with what I want to talk about, okay? So if you guys are not familiar with who Tectone is, he is a content creator, a fellow content creator in the Genshin Impact space. He's done other content prior to Genshin Impact, of course. He's pretty big in this space and he is very vocal. He's a very expressive individual. And today we're going to be talking about what exactly is happening with him, because today he released a video that he's going to be taking a break. And at the same time, I want to help you all understand what is going on with the situation, as well as sharing a bit of my personal experience, especially in regards to Tectone. I've never talked to him, okay? We've never exchanged conversations. I think I want to highlight something that, how should I put this? A phenomenon, essentially, that among this space of YouTube, of just content creation, of being the face of a channel or something like that, all right? Because I know Tectone. I can say that. I know Tectone. Tectone doesn't know me, all right? Tectone doesn't know me, and it's just like the people who consumes content of a certain individual, they know him or her, but the individual doesn't know everybody who consumes their content. And I think this is where I want to start. Now, before I get any further into this, just know I'm not a licensed professional, or I'm not a therapist. I'm simply speaking from my mind, and I'm trying to see from this situation, basing it off of my own past experiences. Let's start from here, okay? The people who consume our content comes from all shapes, sizes, different background, and it's not necessarily with what we say as content creators as much as it is what is interpreted. Right? So I can say right now, that this is white. I can say this is white, and somebody somewhere may interpret that as a aggressive statement towards race. I know, very sensitive stuff here. I almost never talk about this stuff, but let me get my point across, is that everything we say that we intend is free for interpretation for others. And I think that is where the problem stems from. So with the case of Tectone, currently, he is taking a break from the internet because he feels like his intentions are being either misinterpreted or twisted to be weaponized against him. So that's a very dangerous place to be, because if you feel like just opening your mouth and saying things or making statements, and having those statements can be turned around against you at any point in time with using any context, I mean, in real life, we even get the right to an attorney before we start opening our mouth and talking, right? In front of authority. What do we have for YouTube? Sometimes it just feels like the people who spread this stuff or who misinterpret our stuff can act as the judge, the jury, and the executioner all at once. And I get it. It's very frustrating. It's almost impossible for us as the content creator to even moderate or to control this phenomenon. That is a problem. I am very scared of a situation like that happening to me, and I think everybody should. If you sit there and say, I don't care if that happens to me, you are not really understanding the gravitas of what we're talking about here, right? We're talking about a certain kind of injustice towards an individual in the way that you can be labeled as whatever people want to label you as. But then the reverse is also true. Now, this gets a little philosophical, because are we not all just what other people see of us, right? I am sitting here as a content creator because 36,000 people deems it worthy to subscribe to my content and continue subscribed, right? My true image is a culmination of what these 36,000 people, plus maybe some of my friends, my family members, what they see of me is essentially who I'm known as. It's, you guys know the saying, like, fake it until you make it, right? How come that works is because you embody something. You can twist how other people see you. If right now, from this very moment onwards, I start pretending like I am the most well-educated individual on this subject matter, I can tell you guys this and that and this and that, my credentials and all that stuff, it's all fake, it's all lies, but there's no way for people to verify that, and there's going to be a small portion of people who actually believes me. There will be a lot of people who don't, but there will be people who do. Then who I am, what I am, my image is constructed around what those people see of me, right? And my point here is that currently, for Tectone, there's a lot of different images of him floating around the internet. And it just happens that the negative ones are more vocal. Of course they are. They always are more vocal, because when people have a negative emotion, it's usually elevated. It's usually much more aggressively expressed. Shouting, repetition, or using more profanities. These are things that all come with negative emotions, and it just happens that these things echo through the online platform as well, being tweeted, retweeted, or making Reddit posts, as Tectone mentioned, or just having them in your comment sections of your videos. And one day, 2 day, one message, two messages, it might not get to you, but what about 100? What about 1,000? What about 10,000? What about over the span of 2, 3, 4, 5 months? And this is the situation we've arrived at, right? Is there a solution to this? Yeah, I think what Tectone is doing right now is definitely the right way to do it. Detach yourself. You need to get away from all this toxic stuff, toxic environment. But at the end of the day, when you come back, the problem is still there, right? And this is where I want to move into, I guess, part 2. And that is, how do you get to a situation where your intentions can come across and be interpreted as your true intentions? And I don't know, because that is something that I think nobody has ever truly achieved, ever in the history, because people's interpretation of you is whatever they want it to be. Right now, there will be people commenting below saying things about me that I've never intended. But it could be either A, they are twisting it and they are interpreting it in the wrong way, or B, I am unintentionally giving off this, exactly what they're saying, unintentionally. And that is a very likely possibility. And for Tectone's case, especially for somebody who has a background in performance and he takes that into his online persona, essentially, right? Tectone has this persona where he becomes this big guy who yells and screams and becomes very aggressive all the time. But that would be okay if you stay that way, if you embody that character only when you're online, because we've seen cases like that succeed with Dr. Disrespect, with Tyler One, where they embody, yes, I know, Tyler One claims he's in character, all right? When they're in front of the camera, when they are online, they are in character. And when you bring in yourself, you understand what I mean? When you bring yourself into that space as well, now you are sharing this media between the two of you, between your online persona and your real self. And whatever, but the people behind the monitors, their monitors on the keyboard, they don't care. They will attack your online presence as a whole, if that makes sense, right? As a whole. So you are now under fire for the things that your persona said, but of course you yourself did not mean it. And as content creators, we mean for a lot of our comments, remarks, whatever things we say as entertainment. And I know entertainment is a very broad way to describe what we do here. And there's fine lines. There are sensitive topics that we cannot cross. Yes, the more expert levels of entertainers can dance in between these gray lines, like such as comedians. They can take a lot of different material, sensitive topics, and they can make work, but we are not professionals here. We are just everyday Joes who turned on a camera one day or who started recording ourselves one day and somehow we made it. We don't have the luxury of building this up slowly over time. A lot of us don't, right? We're just here trying to share our interests, our passion of a certain topic. And bringing it back to Tectone right now. Remember when I said if you have two personas, they're treated as one individual and attacked together? Well, Tectone can have actually multiple different personas. He has shown that he has a loud and aggressive side, a soft and reasonable side, and a middle one where he kind of dances in between the line there. And I've heard him say a lot of different things. Personally, I think I am able to discern whether he is talking as John, right? That's his name, or as Tectone, the content creator. But most people don't. Most people do not. And it gets even more complicated when John kind of seep through Tectone's performance and actually becomes one person temporarily for like a couple minutes in some of his videos and then disassociates again. It gets really, really difficult. And I also understand the people making these comments is like there are things in some people's lives that they cannot stand for. They can ignore everything else, but there might be one chord that Tectone strikes that you cannot let go. All right. And I think, especially online, we are free to say, do whatever we want. I understand that. And sometimes emotions can elevate certain topics, right? For example, Tectone makes a remark, you interpret it, you take it, you rephrase it, right? Or you talk about it, and then you talk about underlying issues that that statement can represent or imply. And of course, that leads to an entire Reddit thread of things that Tectone stands for, does wrong. And then when Tectone comes, reads this, be like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah, I said that, but that's not what I meant. Or sometimes I never said that, and this is certainly not what I meant. This is an interaction that is that is as old as time on the space of the internet since the beginning, right? And it's going to continue to exist. And as an individual, I'm not here to try to educate Tectone. I'm here to speak on the subject matter. And as an individual, I've already been under attack multiple times. You guys know this. Some of you guys know this who are watching this, right? It's going to continue to happen. But understand that we cannot change what other people interpret of us. It cannot happen. You cannot change what others interpret of you. We can only continue to change ourselves. We can be more careful, hence the point of dancing on eggshells, tiptoeing around it. Or we can continue to do what we do, but we have to understand there are repercussions, there are consequences to our actions when we say this, when we say things freely, when we do things just like this. There are consequences. We have to face those consequences. If you're okay, you fully understand what's coming, and you're okay to either A, ignore it, or B, respond to it all the time, or C, get beat down by it. These are our options. Yes, I'm simplifying this a lot, but at the core of it, I do think it's really about how we, as content creators, we can change ourselves. We can change our actions. We can decide what we want to say, what we don't want to say, but we cannot change how other people interpret us, because they are free to do whatever they want, however they want, just like us, right? It's just we are held more accountable for the things we do because we have more people looking at us. We have influence, essentially. People say that's a cringe word, but it's true. We have influence, and these people are worried that we are influencing or spreading these things that we believe in or that we believe in, right? And they do have a point, do they not? If somebody who is younger, underage, watching my content, easily influenced and swayed to different opinions, and I make a very charged opinion on a very sensitive matter, this might influence that individual. And that's what a lot of the I guess haters are stressing, is that, you know, you cannot be saying that, you can't say this, you are this, and it's very dangerous to watch you because blah 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 blah. If you truly believe you don't stand for this stuff, just continue doing what you do. But be very careful. There will be people who come along and tell you things. You definitely need a few trusted individuals along your side that will tell you when you're wrong, that will tell you when you're stepping out of line. Think about it. Have you never had an argument with your best friend? Some of my best friends I've had the biggest argument against because we have ideals that clash. Brothers, sisters, just general family members. You clash with them, and at the end of the day, you can come back and say, well, that's still my brother, that's still my mother, that's still my dad, right? That's still my sister. People keep thinking this is bad. It's not bad. If both parties knows what they're doing and they're able to talk it out in a civil manner, sure, they may not disagree. Sure, there may be some things thrown around because emotions rise. There's conflict, tension. And once you go away, you can always settle down, reevaluate what the other party said, what you said, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. You guys can still talk the next day as friends, still laugh. That's how it is. So we need a couple of those kind of people around us in our lives. I hope you find yours, Tectone. I don't even know if you watched this video. If you do, hey, man, I've known you for a long time. You don't know me. I've known you for a while now. So yeah, hope to see you back soon. And for people who watched through all the way to the end, thank you very much as well. Thank you for being there for me, and thank you for supporting me. And going forward, I hope I can continue to talk about all sorts of different things, both Genshin related and non-Genshin related. And I think that it's more healthy this way for us to treat our channels as a place where we can share with our audience all our thoughts, or some of our thoughts, or most of our thoughts. Thank you guys so much. I think I said that twice now, but I'll see you guys next time. Till then, stay safe. Peace.